Hey. What?
Maybe this isn't working out the way we planned.
Well, you're gonna have to adjust.
Huh? I'm gonna have to adjust. To what? To never seeing each other? To never having dinner together? To watching game films together? You know, maybe I don't want to adjust. You know? It's not my fault you're spinning your wheels on something that no one cares about, Kathy.
I care. What, you'd rather I just sit at home all day while you travel all over the country?
Yes, you know what? I travel so I can pay for this apartment and everything else that's here. What they pay you, that's not even legal. Right? Most women, they would be grateful.
Grateful? Okay, in the past 3 years, do you know what I've done with my free time? I go to your games. I find the time to support you. So I don't think you even understand what grateful is.
Oh, I didn't know you were so unhappy.
I am not unhappy.
You don't sound too happy right now.
I'm frustrated, it's different.
Because you're trying too hard to change these girls, Kathy, and they don't want it.
It's not that they don't want it. It's that they have been told for so long that they can't have it, that they can't even imagine wanting it. You know what, I can't even talk to you.
Here at the Kiosk Presents, you know we love Hollywood and we love to cover what's coming out in the theaters. And October 21st, we've got a brand new movie hitting theaters everywhere called The Mighty Max. And here to talk about it today are two outstanding actors, Carla Gugino, who plays Kathy Rush, and David Boreanaz, who plays her husband Ed in the movie The Mighty Max. Welcome, how are you?
Very well.
Thank you, really well. How are you doing?
Very good today. Carla, please tell me a little bit about the character you play, Kathy Rush, and a little bit about the story of this great beginning of the women's basketball championship movement back in the 70s.
Yeah, it really was such an exciting time. You know, obviously that was a period of time in history where a lot of changes were happening and reflective in a lot of different worlds. But what was so exciting about Kathy is that she was a woman who, you know, she got a job. She really wanted to be out there doing something, putting herself into something. And she ended up coaching basketball at this small girls' Catholic college, Immaculata, outside of Philadelphia. And she really believed in them. And I don't think it was ever taken very seriously by anybody but her. And then all of a sudden they started to really take her seriously because she made this team into a great team. She took them to the Nationals for the first time in history. And many of those girls became amazing coaches, professional coaches in years to come. And it really was just a really beautiful, amazing, incredibly inspiring story. We both got to meet our actual real people, Ed Rush and Kathy Rush, and the people that we portray, and they are equally inspiring as human beings, you know, as you see in the movie.
Oh, that's really exciting. Do they still live in the Philadelphia area?
I think they do.
Yeah, I think they do.
Yeah.
I do. We met them there for sure. I believe they do.
Wow. Now, and here's it's funny, they always say behind a good woman is a great man, or vice versa. But David, you actually play Kathy's husband, Ed, in the movie. And tell me a little bit about his character, because obviously he had to be kind of special himself at that time to be sort of in the role he was.
Right. In order for him to understand what the connection was with this school as like Immaculata College, because he was a prominent referee at the time, and you know, the NBA was considered the sport, and at that time, women's basketball really wasn't much of anything. It was an idea that obviously came to a strong passion and fruition through Kathy's determination to make something out of these girls. And for Ed to understand that, he really had to step away and put his ego on hold in order to understand what the relationship was about for himself. And he transforms, and by the end of the film, he realizes that this is something special, and you know, it helps their relationship grow, and it did. And to be a part of that and see that inspiration from his perspective was great to be a part of that, and it was a lot of fun.
Well, it's fun because it's not just an inspirational story about a woman, but it's an inspirational story about a relationship between a husband and wife.
For
Yeah.
sure. And about a change of times and about the fact that, you know, until certain ground is broken, you may not know that it needs to be. But also certainly about relationships and kind of how you ultimately, I always want, you know, your partner to grow and become a better person. And certainly through this, I think they both become much stronger people.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, Carla, I know with your background, your experience with films such as Spy Kids and Night of the Museum, you've always kind of played a role of either a mom or a leader of a group. Now you're sort of the leader of a group of young women. Do you feel comfortable in that sort of a role?
You know, for me, actually, the truth of the matter is I've done very sort of films that are geared more for adults, geared more for kids, geared more for all families. You know, the thing about acting for me is to sort of, what I love to do is transform and disappear into a character. So this was definitely one of my favorite characters I've gotten to embody.
Well, great. And one last thing, David, I just want you to know, we always have been very inspired in Western New York by your dad, who anybody who grew up in the 60s like I did remembers Rocket Ship 7 and your dad. So we love you. Thanks very much. We've got a wrap now, and I just want to remind you that the movie is The Mighty Max, opening October 21st. David and Carla, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
See your man and the ball. Find him and box out.
Victory!
Carla Gugino, David Boreanaz, and Academy Award winner Ellen Burstyn, based on a true story where sometimes
For every team that thought they never had a chance.
when you believe in a dream,
I thought dreams were only for rich kids. Now dreams are for everybody. But you have to believe it.
miracles happen.
Tiny Immaculata College has gone to the finals.
This is what we've been working for all year.
The Mighty Max.
Don't you get hot in these things? It ain't easy, sister.